We've all heard that if you want to lose weight, you need to be in a caloric deficit. But how do you count those calories? How do you keep track of macros? And how do you just keep track of this stuff in general? Those are the questions I'm going to be answering here today with you. And I'm going to show you how to count calories, how to count macros, and how to keep track of it all using MyFitnessPal. Keep watching if you want to find out how to do a caloric deficit the right way. Everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Inez, and on this channel we talk a whole lot about school, wellness, and lifestyle. Today we're going to be talking about how to count calories and do all the right calculations to be in a proper caloric deficit for weight loss. If you want to find out how to do this, keep watching. Quick disclaimer here, I am by no means an expert. I am not a nutritionist, I'm not a dietitian, but what I am is a senior in a well-known kinesiology program here in Canada. And throughout my degree, I've taken numerous nutrition courses that have taught me all about macros and counting calories and caloric deficit ratios for proper weight loss. And so now I want to share those tips with you and share how to do those calculations if you're looking to lose weight. With all that being said, let's get right into the video. So what I'm going to do in this video is that I'm quickly going to explain everything from BMR to TDEE to your macros. And then I'm going to do sample calculations with you guys so that you can follow along and understand a bit more. And from there, I am going to show you how I put all these macros and how I put these calories that we've calculated into MyFitnessPal so that you can now track those calories throughout your day as you are eating. The first two things that we're going to calculate is your basal metabolic rate, your BMR, and your total daily energy expenditure, which is your TDEE. Your basal metabolic rate is just your metabolism. It's how much calories you would burn in a day by doing absolutely nothing. It's just our metabolic rates. Our total daily energy expenditure is our basal metabolic rate including activity. So this includes activity that we typically do in a day, and so it accounts for how much calories we burn in a day by just doing normal things. Like, if you work out a lot, that would include working out a lot. If you have a desk job and you sit down most of your day, that would include that activity. And you need to know this because this is just the amount of calories that you burn in a day, and so this is how much you should be fueling your body on a regular day basis to match up for those burnt calories. So once we've calculated our TDEE, the next step is calculating the caloric deficit part. So this is how much calories you want to take out in order to be in a caloric deficit. I like to say there are kind of two options for this. So option one would be about removing 10% of your TDEE to start as a caloric deficit. It could be 10%, 20%, 25%. It's really up to you, but I would say start with 10%. Or option two, if you know that you want to lose about 1 pound a week, it would be to remove 500 calories from your TDEE, and that would be your caloric deficit. That would be how much calories you're eating. It would be your TDEE minus 500 calories every day. If you do that in a week, you should be losing about a pound. And that is because 1 pound of fat is equal to 3,500 calories. And if you divide that by 7, it breaks down to about 500 calories a day. So that is why when we say if you want to lose 1 pound of fat a week, you want to be reducing your caloric intake by about 500 a day. All right, and so now that you've calculated your caloric deficit or how many calories you need to be eating in a caloric deficit, you now need to calculate your macros. And you've probably heard this word, you probably don't know what it means. Macros are your macronutrients. There are 3 big macronutrients, being carbohydrates, fats, and protein. These 3 things are on every nutrition fact label, and they are very important when thinking about weight loss or even weight gain. Very, very important. Your proportion of how much of each macros you're eating will determine whether you are gaining or losing weight. Really quickly here to explain, 1 gram of protein is equal to 4 calories. So every gram of protein you eat is equal to 4 calories. This also goes for your carbohydrates. Every 1 gram of carbohydrates that you eat is equal to 4 calories. Now, your fats are a little different. Every 1 gram of fat that you eat is equal to 9 calories. You see why fats are not fun? Because every gram of fat that you eat is equal to 9 calories, whereas every gram of protein or carbohydrates that you eat are equal to 4 calories. This is going to be important when we break down how many grams of each we need to be eating based on our established calories. As a rule of thumb for weight loss, you want to be eating anywhere from 1.5 gram to 2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. All right, there are studies on this, numerous studies actually, that show that this is about how much protein you want to be eating if you are trying to lose weight. So anywhere from 1.5 to 2 grams per kilogram of body weight. Now for the fats, how much grams or how many calories from fat you eat should not go over 25% of all your calories. If you did the math and all this and you established that you need to be eating 1800 calories, only 25% of those 1800 calories can come from fat. Once you've calculated how many grams of protein you're gonna be eating, how many grams of fat you're gonna be eating, whatever is left is going to be allocated to your carbohydrates. I know everyone's scared of carbohydrates when you're losing weight, but you shouldn't be, because that is what fuels your body and that is what will give you energy, so you still need to consume some. It's a misconception I had really early on, but I now know that carbohydrates are really good for your body during weight loss, but protein is really, really, really important, all right? So I have my iPad here with me and I'm going to share my screen and show you guys how to do these calculations so that you can follow along and hopefully do these calculations for yourself. Let's give out the profile first. Let's say we're doing the calculations today for a 21-year-old woman who is 160 pounds and about 5'4". So let's get right into it with the calculations. The first thing we need to do is calculate our BMR. And the equation for your BMR is 10 times your weight in kilograms plus 6.25 times your height in centimeters minus 5 times your age minus 161. This is the equation that I like to use. There are others out there that are slightly different and give around the same numbers. This is just the one that we're going to use today. The first thing we're going to write in is 10 times their weight in kilograms. We said they were 160 pounds, which is equal to about 72.6 kilograms. So I'm going to write that down. 10 times 72.6. I'm gonna put that in brackets. We're then gonna do plus 6.25 times their height in centimeters. We said they were about 5'4", and so this gives us a height of about 162.5. So we're gonna say 162.5, that's centimeters. We're gonna do minus 5 times their age of 21. And then we are going to do minus 161. And we're gonna do that math really quickly. And what we're gonna have is 726 plus 1015 minus 105 minus 161. And that is going to equal 1475. So 1475 calories is this person's BMR. Moving on now to total daily energy expenditure. So remember, your TDEE is basically your BMR, but it accounts for your activity levels in a day. Are you sedentary? Do you work a desk job? Or do you go to school and so you're mostly seated all day? Or are you hyperactive? You do a lot. You do a physical job that has you running around all day and so you're pretty active. Let's say that this 21-year-old is a student. She's moderately active, but she is a student and spends a lot of time sitting and studying. So we're gonna say that they are moderately active, and the multiplication factor for moderately active is 1.55. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take that 1475 that we got in our BMR, write that down, and we are going to multiply that by 1.55, which is our activity factor for somebody who is moderately active. And that gives us 2,286. So that is her TDEE. So for this young lady for who we're doing the calculations, on a day, she should be consuming about 2,286 calories just to keep up and to nourish her body properly. Now that we've done that, we want to go now and calculate our caloric deficit. So let's say that this young lady is looking to lose 1 pound a week. And we've talked about this earlier. If she's trying to lose 1 pound a week, we're gonna say that breaks down to about 500 calories less in a day. So we're gonna use option number 1, and we're gonna do 2,086 minus 500, and that gives us 1,786 calories. Okay, you guys see that? That is how much calories she should be eating in a caloric deficit to lose 1 pound a week. So a 21-year-old lady who is 160 pounds and 5'4" would be eating 1,786 calories in a day if she is aiming to lose weight, more specifically 1 pound a week. All right, and so now that we've calculated that 1,786 calories, I'm just gonna write that at the top right here, and we're gonna get into calculating our macros, starting with our protein, then we're gonna move on to our fats, and then our carbohydrates. We said earlier that for protein, if you are trying to lose weight, you should be eating anywhere from 1.5 to 2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. We said this lady weighed 160 pounds, which is 72.6 kilograms of body weight. And now we just have to decide what range of gram of protein per kilogram of body weight we want for her. Let's say she wants a really high protein diet, okay? She's really trying to lose that fat and build muscle. She wants a lot of protein. And we're just gonna say she's gonna eat 2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. So we're gonna say 2 times 72.6, and it's equal to 145 grams. Oops, 145 grams. So that's how many grams of proteins she's gonna be eating in a day. So now that we know she needs to eat 145 grams of protein, how many calories is that? Those are just the grams, but how many calories is that equal to? Remember earlier, 1 gram of protein is equal to 4 calories. So if we have 145 grams of protein, we're gonna do 145 times 4, and this is going to give us 580 calories, all right? So of her 1,786 calories, 580 of those calories are coming from protein. Now, let's move on to our fats. So remember earlier, I said that for fats, we want to be aiming for nothing more than 25% of our calories coming from fat. To find how much fat she needs to be eating, we're going to calculate what is 25% of 1,786 calories, because that is how much calories she wants to be eating. So we are going to write down 1,786 times 0.25, and this is going to give us 446 calories. So that is how many calories she should be eating that come from fats. Okay, we know how many calories she should be eating from fat. How many grams of fat is that? And again, like I said earlier, fat is special. 1 gram of fat is equal to 9 calories. If she is only allowed to eat 446 calories that come from fat, we're gonna divide that 446 by 9 to find out how many grams of fat that is that she can eat in a day. So we're gonna go 446 divided by 9, and that equals 49 grams. So in a day, she is only allowed to eat 49 grams of fat. So far we have 145 grams of protein and 49 grams of fat. All right, and now carbohydrates is just what's left over. For that, we're gonna calculate how many calories she consumes eating fats and protein, and whatever is left is going to be allocated for carbohydrates. So we are going to do 1,786 calories minus 1026, and that is going to equal 760 calories. So that's how many calories she has left that she can eat of carbs, okay? And like I said earlier, like protein, 1 gram of carbohydrates is equal to 4 calories. So if she has 760 calories and we divide this by 4 calories per gram, here's what we're gonna get. So we're gonna do 760 divided by 4, and we get 190. And so that is 190 grams. 190 grams are going to be 4 carbs. So in total, our good sis here, here's how much she can eat. She can eat 145 grams of protein, all right? That's how much she's gonna eat of protein. She's gonna eat 49 grams of fats, and she's gonna eat 190 grams of carbs. All right, that is how much she's eating in her caloric deficit, and all together, this is equal to 1,786 calories. That is how you do the calculations to find out how to be in a caloric deficit and how to distribute your macros. You can play around with these numbers. You don't have to eat 2 grams for every kilogram of body fat. That might be a lot for some people, especially if you're trying this out for the first time, okay? You know what? If you think that you need to be eating less fat, you can do a little less. Just don't go too low, because you still need fats for energy. Our body needs fat, all right? Don't just try to not eat fat at all. That's not possible. It's not good for you, all right? And if you think that you need a little bit more carbs, that's okay. Go for a little bit more carbs. Maybe just reduce how much protein you're eating. Play around with the numbers. It's all based on what is good for you, how you feel once you eat all these foods. And now we're at our last step, which is putting all these numbers into MyFitnessPal, which is an app that helps you keep track of your macros. I love MyFitnessPal because you can put in everything you've been eating throughout the day for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks. It's really easy. You can just scan the barcodes on wrappers and packages of foods, and it'll pull out all the macros you need, and it'll tell you if you're close to hitting your protein goal, if you're over your fat goal, over your carbs goal, if you're under and you need to eat more. It's a really, really great tool to consider if you seriously want to track your calories and take your weight loss journey seriously. It's an amazing app. I use the free version. There is a premium version, but honestly, you don't need it. You can get away with using the free version of the app just fine. I know I do it. You can too. If you want to pay for it, by all means, go ahead. It's an amazing app. So let's open MyFitnessPal here. And once you open this app, the first thing you're gonna see is your dashboard. We're just gonna ignore this for now, and we're gonna go to more. Once we go to more, you're going to look for the goals section, all right? I'm gonna click straight into goals, and I'm gonna see a bunch of stuff, starting weight, goal weight, and all this fluff. That's not really the focus right now. What I'm focusing on is calories, carbs, proteins, and fat goals, which is under the nutrition goals. So once I click that, I am now able to play around with how many calories I want to eat in a day. I have no idea why it says 1290 right now, but we're gonna change that anyways. We're gonna put in the macros that we just established. So I'm gonna click calories, and I'm gonna change this to 1786. It's gonna take a while to sync, but you should be good. Now that I'm at 1786, you can play around with the dials to get to the right proportions that you want, that you've calculated. We said that we wanted to eat 145 grams of protein. So I'm gonna play with this dial until I reach 145 or close to. So 30 is 134, 35 is 156. So I'm gonna say, let's do 35. Let's do 156 grams of protein. You know, it's not too bad. If anything, you'll just know when you're inserting your foods that you want to go a little bit less. I know with the pro version or the paying version of the app, you can put exact numbers, but this doesn't really matter too much as long as you know. For fat, we said that we wanted to eat 49 grams of fat. So we're gonna go and play around until we get to 49 grams of fat. So this is a quite big jump here. 25%, it's gonna give us 50 grams. So we're just gonna stick to 50 grams, all right? Not a big deal. And then obviously we're over 100% right now, so we're gonna have to reduce this to 40, and it brings us down to 179 grams of carb. All right, and that is it. The ratios here aren't too bad. So we wanted to eat 190 grams of carbs. On this app, it's giving us 179. We wanted to eat 145 grams of protein. On the app, it's giving us 156. And then we wanted to eat 49 grams of fat. Here we have 50. So you can see it's not exactly exact just because you have the free version, but this is really good. This is a really good start to help you kind of align it to stay balanced. And I'm just gonna click that check mark, and it's gonna save this right here. And so then when I wanna log foods into this app, it will remind me, these are my macros, this is the ratio you want to stick to, this is... All right, that is all I have for you guys today. You guys learned how to calculate your calories, calculate a caloric deficit, balance out your macros, and implement all of this into MyFitnessPal. I hope you guys found this video helpful and that you use some of these tips in your fitness journey, whether you're trying to lose weight or gain weight. Like I said earlier, I am not an expert. I am just a student using my knowledge to help you guys out, but I hope you guys liked it. And if you did, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. It helps me out a lot. I am a new creator here on YouTube, and I'm just trying to find my people and find my community. So just leave that like and a subscribe, and it'd be really appreciated. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!